client list was sitting on her desk right now to review. That was back in February of 2025. She went on later on in March 3rd, 2025. She told Sean Hannity that a truckload of evidence had arrived, that FBI Director Kash Patel is going to get me and himself really a detailed report as to why all these documents and evidence had been withheld, close quote. However, in July 2025, Bondi and the FBI released an unsigned memorandum concluding that the review found no evidence, no evidence that Epstein had a client list or that he blackmailed prominent associates. And this is obviously contradicting her earlier public statements and faced significant backlash. This is clearly obstruction of justice on the part of Pam Bondi. We have every bit of reason to infer that she has no intention at all of producing these documents. She has made a mockery out of this whole process, including allowing witness tampering and having Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted of trafficking in this instance, removed from one jail to a much more comfortable position. Why is that not witness tampering? We should ask her questions about that. And the idea that some other committee is going to do this is an abdication of our responsibility on this committee, I believe. We should not, look, we are the ones that we had the victims sit down in front of us and tearfully ask for justice from this committee. And we promised that. We promised that we would do everything we possibly. We didn't say, well, we'll check with the Judiciary Committee and we'll let them do the work. We said we would take on this responsibility, which is ours, Mr. Chairman. This is the rightful jurisdiction for this case, and we should demand people with evidence to produce that evidence so that we can proceed in our work. We haven't done that thus far. We've let Pam Bondi distort and obstruct the justice that's due to these victims. It's shameful. It really is. And I want to hear from everyone who has a connection to this. I want to hear from every single witness that might be able to provide evidence to this committee. And I think Pam Bondi, with the millions and millions and millions of documents, is at the top of that list. And she has thwarted justice long enough. She is a lapdog to the president. She is trying to protect the president, who is all over this case, all over this case. And I'm hopeful that eventually he'll be a witness before this committee at some point. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Before I recognize Scott Perry, if I may, this committee has done everything that the victims asked that day in that hearing. They asked that we subpoena the estate. We had no idea what was in that estate documents. Could have been all Republicans. Had no idea. Could have been billionaires. Could have been donors to the Republican Party. Could have been donors to the Democrat Party. Had no idea. Without hesitation, I signed that subpoena for the estate. And then, with respect to with your criticism of Bondi, I don't disagree with anything you said in your criticism of the current Attorney General. And I think she's going to have to answer those questions in front of Congress, in front of the American people in 2 weeks. And I'm confident she's going to be asked those questions, and I expect to hear answers from the criticism that you leveled against her. No one's defending her. Again, we expect to get the documents. They have produced some. We aren't satisfied with the pace, and she's going to be in front of Congress in 2 weeks to answer that exact criticism. Chair recognizes Mr. Perry from Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the opportunity to address